Welcome back to Broker Brains. I am Shanna with Cascadian Northwest.
I'm Andi Costello with Venture Commercial Real Estate.
And if you were with us the last time, we decided to kind of take a little departure from our industry talk about the hot topics in real estate and just kind of talk about what brought us into real estate. So, if you want to know more about me and my journey, go back to last week's episode because this time it's all about Andi.
Yeah.
Andi, tell us what got you even the interest into delving into real estate.
Well, I started even before 2011, I was a government employee. And, you would watch The Apprentice or, I would read business books and I'm like, God, everybody makes money in real estate. Like the people that have like big names. I mean, it's just like you see developers and, I'd be making my government salary and I'd be watching these people in these communities like buying real estate and making money. And I was like, I don't want to give up my government job, but I got to figure out how to get a piece of that pie. So I happened to be in Arizona during the recession. So I picked up some investment properties then. And, my only regret is I didn't have more money, didn't figure out how to invest more because that was, we'll never see that in our lifetime again. I mean, it was hard on a lot of people, but for people that were poised to like pounce and make turn that into something was really good. And so then I was really hooked and I was still in government. I was thinking about getting my master's in real estate. I already have a master's degree. The same as you. It's like, I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to leave my 6-figure job. And, I was trying to figure out how to keep doing it. So then I thought, well, every time I move for a job, I'll keep that house as a rental. And then I ended up, that career took me to California and then I got fired by my city council. And I thought, what the hell am I going to do? Like, I kind of got tired of moving all the time for my career. And I just wanted to settle down and find some roots. And I always wanted to move to the Northwest. And I kept hoping a job was going to take me here and it didn't work. And so then I was also going through a divorce at the time. I just sort of picked up and moved here and kind of thought I'll figure it out because law school was going to be a 6-figure bill with student loans and didn't want to start over. I didn't want to start over at a $50K a year job as an attorney. So I was like, well, what do I know? What have I kind of had some experience in? How hard could it be? To be honest, what I had no clue about being an agent was how hard the prospecting was. I moved here 2017. I knew nobody. I knew nobody in the industry. I had no idea what the hell.
And I mean, that is the hardest time. That is the hardest way to start is like in a new community.
Yep.
You have
nothing.
Sphere of influence, as we like to say. You got nothing.
And so I knew right away I wanted to get into commercial because I was like, that's where the money's at, more time balance. I was like dealing with business owners, very professional side of the business. And, I got here, didn't know anybody. So I just started cold calling commercial shops and, big shocker, nobody called me back. So I didn't really know what I didn't know what a good old boys club it was at the time. So I started out on the residential side of the business because I was like, I got to eat, got to pay my bills. And so I thought, well, I'll do this. And just through networking, somebody will connect me to somebody. And over time, that'll happen. And it did. Eventually, a lender introduced me to my business partner, Lyle. And we started working together in 2020. And it's been a great relationship. And then, under his mentorship and still learning the business. I mean, we'll never know it all. And then we decided to buy an office building last year. And, with that came was like, well, what are we going to do? And we talked about moving our license to your shop and we're just trying to figure it out. And it's like, well, like my business partner owned a commercial shop in Bend. So he's like, well, let's just open a brokerage. I mean, what the hell did I know? So it's been a really, really steep learning curve, still in production and still learning the business and producing while trying to grow the brokerage and, having the conversations about recruiting and what are our value propositions and why are we different? Why do you want to come to, our shop versus going to a national franchise or, a big international company. And so it's been a good adventure. I've learned a lot, probably more than I would have learned going to grad school, right? Or going to law school. It's like getting that real life business experience. And, I still think about it. I'm like, what would I be rather doing? And, I can't really think of anything else that I think I'd rather do. In terms of my time and energy and the different people we get to meet every day, the different businesses and how people make money and where they got their money. I mean, it's just fascinating listening to other people's stories. Like, you're curious about how people got into real estate. I'm really fascinated by my clients of like, how do they decide that this thing they're doing is making money? I mean,
Right.
there's so many different business models out there that you're like, so you want to open a bar for dogs and like all that goes into
Yeah.
that. And, just things like that I'm like, that idea would never dawn on me to,
Yeah.
think that I could make money doing that.
Yeah, it's never boring.
Never boring.
That's the one
Yes.
given. It is never boring.
Never boring.
And you said you don't know what you would do instead. I would be a full-time stay-at-home French bulldog mom.
Ah. Yeah, I think I would get really bored just staying home. I mean, I would be
No, my
volunteering.
dogs are super cute.
I mean, I'd still be volunteering. I'd be traveling. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't wait to retire because I have all the things I want to do that you
Yeah.
just can't do while you're working and building a business. But yeah, I can't think of anything else that I'm like, that career over there sounds interesting. And like
Yeah,
you said, what's
me
the ramp
neither.
up to be making money without starting at the bottom? Very
Right.
careers, of course, when you get into real estate, you're starting at the bottom, even if you have a sphere, learning the business, learning how to prospect. And even to this day, I tell people like what TV shows you is nothing about the industry, right?
No.
They don't ever show how you prospected, how you got those clients, how you built your reputation. And so, TV does make it look really easy. And it's, of course, we know it's nothing like that.
Well, and that's
other
also
agents know.
the stuff that they don't teach you when you get your license.
Yeah.
There's no component of licensure that
Nah,
prepares you for the fact that
None at
you
all.
have to run a business and fill your pipeline,
Yep, 100%.
which are both equally, if not more important than understanding how to write a contract,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I would agree. I mean, after 15 years of being a salaried government employee with great benefits, health insurance, retirement, time off, I still am not used to the fluctuations in the business. It's like, oh, it's an election year, things are slowing down. Oh, this is, an interest rate shift. And, how I don't know that I'll ever get used to like the inconsistency of the business. And that's just, I think, because that's not how I started my career as
Yeah.
a commission-based person. If I kind of came from a different field, I probably wouldn't feel that way. But yeah, it's certainly a different approach to, living your life. But again, like
Yeah,
you, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah,
So,
and especially if you're coming from something as structured as a government job with very clearly defined benefits package,
Yeah.
like very clear expectations of when you're at work, when you're not.
Yeah.
And then you come into any kind of entrepreneurship, really, but especially real estate. And it's like, forget all of that.
Yeah. I mean, my hours were never defined either because I was always in management and had weekend stuff and night meetings and things like that. That is one thing now I can put more barriers around my time. Like, oh, nope, I'm going to the gym after work. And, it's, I still work on weekends like you do too, but just more parameters around trying to protect that time than just being at everybody's beck and call all the time.
Yep.
We certainly did that in the beginning of our career, but as you get to the point where you have the luxury of just saying, oh, I'll call you on Monday and, setting some boundaries.
Yeah. There are no emergencies in commercial real estate.
No. And to a certain extent in residential either.
Oh, no, but people in residential think there are a lot. There's a lot of running around and flapping of hands.
Yes. Well, it's the clients that think it's an emergency. Of course, the agent generally knows that there's not, but very, very little. But yes, you still have to respond to their emotions and be the
100%,
therapist.
yeah.
That job doesn't ever go away. So,
well, I am glad you found your way into real estate
Me too.
and to the Pacific Northwest.
Me too. Thank you. Yeah, my biggest regret is not getting into the industry sooner, to be honest. But I think if I told my mom at 18 that I wanted to become a real estate agent, I think she would have just flipped.
God, imagine not having
Yeah.
paid as much as we paid for school.
I know. If I had dumped all that money into building a business, where would I be now?
Yeah. Oh man.
Amazing.
Let's not go there.
Nope.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we would love to know what got you interested in real estate. So hop into the comments and tell us your origin story.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching this week. We love to hear from you, and take care of yourself. And if you can, someone else too. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.